Hello, welcome back to the Savachat scripts. So today we will discuss about control statements in Java. So let me start with some basics. So in Java we have three type of control statements, as you can see here in the diagram. So here we have decision making, looping statements, and jump statement. Decision making is nothing like you have to whenever you have to make decisions, like we have to choose this one or that one, that we can use the decision making statements. So we have if, else if, and switch. And for looping statements, we have loop, while, do while. So looping statement is whenever we want to execute same things multiple times with the same points. So we use looping statements. And now let's come to the jump statement. So statements is nothing. Jump statement is comes in the picture when you wanted to either break, or either you wanted to skip something, or you wanted to return something. So here we have three keywords used for jump statements: break, continue, and return. So this is break, continue, and return. Now let's have a check of definition of all the statements. So we have if. So as I already told you, if statement is used to execute a block of code only when a specified condition true. Suppose you wanted to execute a block where your condition is satisfied, and if else statement is used to execute one block of code when condition is true and another block when condition is false. So let's suppose you have a condition where you have two options, either false or true. So if your condition is false, it will come if block, and otherwise is go to the else block. Now we have another if else letter. Here we have a list of else, list of situations. Like if you have three or four conditions, let's suppose you wanted to check that what is the day today, and then you have 7 days in a week. So we will provide the list of else if statements. Now switch statements. Switch statement is nothing. Switch statement is you can say the extended version or enhancement of else if, is used to select one block of a code from multiple options based on the variable value. So switch is a keyword. With the help of that keyword we can achieve this. Now then second type of control statement is looping. So first we have for loop. So for loop is used to execute block of code repeatedly for a fixed number of times. And then we have a while loop. So while loop is repeatedly execute a block of code long as the specified condition is true. So the difference you can see here. For loop will go the fixed number of times, but while loop will check the condition until the condition is true, it will execute. And the do while loop is executes block of code at least once, then repeats while condition is true. So while and do while, the base difference is, if first time your condition is not true, while loop will not execute. But by default, first execution will happen in case of do while, because in the while loop we'll check condition first, and do while will check condition the last. So this is do while loop. Then we have a jump statements. As I told you, there we have three keywords: break, continue, return. Break is used whenever you want to terminate your loop, terminate your program, or terminate your any statement. We will use break. And suppose you wanted to skip any iteration, you wanted to print 1 to 10, but you don't want to print 5, then you can just continue over that iteration. So it will skip that specific iteration and go to the next iteration. It will not break the loop from there. And the return statement is used to exit from a method and optionally return a value. In the case of break, it will not return any value, but return statement do break that method, or you can statement, and it will return some values that you wanted to return. So this is the kind of small definition of all statements, and then we'll go in the practically as well. Now, so this is we have already discussed. Now let's check how this work. So we'll start with first if statement. As you can see in this example, execute code only if the condition is true. Suppose you have an integer age 18. So if age is greater than or equal 18, then you can vote. This is the simple condition. And the same thing, the if else statement, we have two blocks of code. You can see here. We have a age of 16, but first is if you are greater than and equal to 18, then you are adult, otherwise is minors. So this is how we have use if else statement. Now, if we talk about else if later, so if you wanted to print a report card, so let's suppose if your marks is greater than 90, then grade A, greater than equal 60, then grade B, otherwise grade C. So this is kind of multiple conditions you can have check with else if later. Now come to the switch statement. So switch statement, we have list of options, and all you wanted to check a single option. So suppose as we have right switch is a keyword, then we have pass a day, and then we have case 1, case 2, and default. So in like case 1, case 2, case 3, you can you can have multiple statements, and you can see we are giving a break statement after every condition, because whenever condition satisfy, it will break the program immediately. So in case of day 2, we'll have Tuesday as output for that. So this is statements, conditional statements. Then we have looping. So we have for loop, while loop, do while loop. For loop, that we have already know the fixed number of times we can. So here you can see we'll going to iterate our loop from 1 to greater than equal to 5. So our we have fixed number that until 5 we'll execute this. In the same while loop, we are providing a condition. Until the condition is not satisfied, it will execute. In the do while, as you can see, first we are printing an statement, then we are checking the condition. So if whenever we execute this, in the first time, one is always print. Either your condition is satisfied or not. First time it will always print. Now let's discuss the statement jump statements. So break, you can check stop or switch the break. As you can see, we are executing our loop from 1 to 5, but we are checking if I is equal to 3, then statement will break. So in this case, our code will go will print 1, 2, and 3. After that, it will break. In continue, what happens? If we found I is equal to 3, then our output will be 1, 2, 4, and 5. 3 will skip here in this case. Now, in the exit, so exit from a method, it is a kind of thing uh, with the help of return. Whenever you wanted to return any value to the method, okay. Let's suppose you wanted to sum of two values and return of that sum. So this is basically we use in methods. Now let's check with the implementation of this. So I have created a one class control statements. Then let's start do one by one that we have already discussed in image whiteboard. So let me start with the first with the if statement. So you can see here I have an integer age, that value I have provided is 18, and I'm checking if age is greater than equal to 18, then it will print only you can vote. Let me execute this. Then I think we can have this output you can vote, because the condition is satisfied. I think it will take few seconds. Okay, now you can see here we have a proper output you can wait. If I'm changing this value to 17, 17, then if we execute, then we'll not have any output, because we are not printing anything outside the if block. So program is executed, but you can see here we don't have any output here. So this is the only one if statement. Now, if you wanted to check else if, so in the we'll write else and we'll provide here you cannot vote. Vote. Okay, now in this case, if you execute this, so this block will execute else statement because it will not satisfy for the first one because this value is less than 80, not is greater than or equal to. So you can see here you cannot vote. Now, if we talk about else if, so in the else if statement, if you wanted to create a report card, then let me first comment out it here. So you can write whenever you want, you can check that. Now, let's suppose we wanted to this. So here you can see we have a by default we provided a mark 75 and we have applied the filter. If your marks is greater than and equal to 90, then grade A. If your marks is greater than or equal to 60, then grade B, else grade C. So here our statements, because we have a value is 75, then it comes under this condition is greater than and 60 and equal to 60. So our output will be grade B here. Let me execute and check. So you can see grade B. If you change this value like from 70 to 175, then we'll have the output is grade A. So that's how the else if ladder works. Okay. If check first condition, then if condition, then else if condition, otherwise else. So this is example for else if. Let me else if ladder. Let me put it here. Ladder. Okay. Now let me talk about control statements while loopings. Okay, and then let me start with for loop. So for loop, as I said, we have fixed value, fixed number of value. So here, if we execute this, then you can see here, we have, so in for loop, we provide three things. Init value, or you can say start value, then we have condition, then we have logic, either plus, minus, anything, plus, plus, minus, you can multiplication, anything, any kind of logic. Okay, you can provide any kind of logic here. So you can see if you execute this, you will get 1 to 5. Let me execute and check. So you can see here we have 1 to 5. So for statement is executing every single iteration 1 to 5. Now if we go with while loop, let me comment it out here so we can have a proper output for while, otherwise we'll confuse. So while, as we know, we need let me take int n equal 5 and I'll check if until n, sorry, is not equal to, suppose I not equal or not is greater than equal 10. Until is net greater than equal 10, it will print n, and then we'll provide condition either plus or minus the logic. So now what will be the output for this? The output is from 5 to 10 it will print, because we are starting this loop from 5. Let me execute and check. So why it's not coming? Because we are providing wrong logic, brother. Because 10 is already you greater than, so we have provided the wrong logic. Now you can see from 5 to 10. Now I'll tell you here the base big difference between do while and do while. Do n, then n plus plus, and then we have while n is less than same condition. Okay. Now as you can see, if we execute with the same condition, we'll have the same outputs. Okay. Let me so let me do one thing. While the while out is down, so it will not create confusion. Now let me execute. You can see 5 to 10. It's working as expected in this condition. Correct. Okay, it's showing wrong because no, it's not showing wrong. Now you know what? Why it's showing 11 here? Because n plus plus in this loop it's go till 11. If I let me show you how it's working. Okay, as it so it will be more clear. So you can see here we have value of n is 11. Now it will go there and it will print 11 L, then it's check the condition, then n plus plus 1, then check the condition is false. Still we have the 11 in the first time condition false. With the condition false, it's executing the one time, it's executing one time that print statement. So that's how it's work. Let me give you the same example. Let me take int m equal 5. Okay, and then let me check the same thing over the m so it will not confusing. Now if I execute this program, then you can see the output is same because condition is satisfied for the both conditions. Now if I give here 11 and I give here 11, if you execute this now, so you will see we don't have any output for this because the condition is not satisfied, and while is always check the condition first. And you can see here because do while is checking the condition last, that's why it's printed first time 11. Then condition is not satisfying, that's why it's not showing anything here. This is the basic difference between while and do while. Okay, so I can, let me write it here. Basic difference between while and do while is while check first and while checks condition last. This is the basic difference. Now, we'll talk about, let me comment it out here. This we discuss more about jump statements. Jump statement. Now, suppose 4 int I equal 1 to I is equal to 10 and I plus. Okay, I wanted to print, because as you can see here, my loop will execute from 1 to 10 that we have provided the condition. But I want the loop will exit once I'll get, just wanted to print 1 to 7, not all 10. So we'll provide if I is equal to 7, then break s out to I. So what will happen? It will check whenever we have the condition satisfy here, it will break the program from here. So let me execute this and we'll check the output. Okay. So from 1 to 6 is prints. After 7, because condition is satisfied, it will break. It will not execute ahead. Okay. So in this case, it will in or if you wanted to print 7 as well, then do one thing before break. You can print this. So it will print 1 to 7. After 7, it will break, as you can see here. Now the next thing is continue. So instead of break, let me comment it here. Let print if whenever I found I percentage y 2 equal 0, means 2 4 like even numbers. I would just wanted to skip those, and then I wanted to print I. Okay, let me check. Now you can see we'll have 1 3 5 till 9 output for this. As you can see, 1 3 5 7 9. So as you can see, it will skip all the iteration which satisfied this condition. Okay, we satisfy this condition. So that's how work this continue. So this is all about our control statements. If you have any doubt, anything, do let me know. I'll here to help you, and I'll put this all program in the good way, the comments, so you can check there. Yeah, thanks for the day. Have a great day. Bye bye.